Welcome back, everyone. I am hopping with happiness today because Marie Walton is going to be talking about American toads. Welcome, Marie.
Thank you so much, Chris. I have brought two little American toad friends because these are really incredible animals that you want to have in your garden. So they're nature's pesticides. One American toad can eat up to 10,000 insects in just 3 months. So if you want harmful insects out of your garden, this is the best and most sustainable way to do that. American toads are really beneficial to have. Now, a lot of people actually go so far as to try to attract toads to their yard. I get that question a lot, like how to attract them.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of ways that you can do that. So they like to have a little bit of coverage, so something like a log or some leaves that they can burrow down into, some soft moss. That's going to be a great way for them to get some coverage and escape the heat in the hot part of the day. Some people even buy what's called a toad abode, which is like a little house for toads. And as long as you keep the underneath nice and clean so that the toad can come and go as it wants, that's a great way to attract toads. And finally, having some stagnant or slowly moving water, because in the springtime, that's where they're going to want to lay their eggs. So early spring, you might hear toads calling for each other, trying to find a mate. A toad call kind of sounds like a trilling noise, like a... That's kind of what a toad's mating call sounds like. After they find a mate, the female is going to lay ribbons of eggs. So a frog lays kind of like pads or groups of eggs, but a toad is going to lay these long ribbons. It looks really cool. And then when the baby toads come out of those eggs, they are tadpoles, just like frog babies, and they're fully aquatic, so they're breathing through gills and swimming using their tail fin. But over time, over the next 2 months, they'll grow their arms and legs, and their gills will become lungs, and then they'll become fully formed little toadlets. So a toadlet is like a tiny little toad, and it hops onto land, and usually around June, the forest is full of tiny little toadlets, and then it takes about 2 or 3 years for a toad to become a nice big toad like these friends that I brought with me today. And then in the wintertime, it's really important for them to have some leaves. So I always say leave the leaves in the fall because they're going to try to bed down and do what's called brumating, which is kind of like hibernating for cold-blooded animals or ectotherms. And they need that coverage of the leaves to make sure that they don't freeze in the wintertime so that they can make it all the way to spring. So if you just leave some leaves in your garden beds, it's kind of like nature's mulch. And toads can bed down in there, and they'll be your friend again the next year when they emerge. And toads are really beautiful animals. That's why I brought 2 of them. They have incredibly different colors.
Yes.
So every toad has different spots, and they can even be more brown, red, black, or gray. So the one in my hands, she is more of like a little red toad. She almost looks like a little pumpkin. And the one in your hands is more of a traditional kind of dark brown toad. But they're all very beautiful. Toads are a great way to have a sustainable garden, and to share our outdoor spaces with these little animals is such a treat.
All right. Well, fantastic, Marie. I love these animals. I mean, they're so soft to hold as well.
They are. They're just so gentle.
And they're pretty calm, too.
They are.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out today. Tell us all about the toad.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, don't go away because we have more when we return.